Okay, sorry everyone, we had some technical difficulties. So this is the City of Fairway, Kansas. It is our City Council meeting for Monday, May 8th, 2023. It is 6:44 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Nathan, do you have any announcements? And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of the City of Fairway, Kansas play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of Fairway, Kansas. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the Fairway Police Department has evolved into a modern and progressive law enforcement agency which unceasingly provides a vital public service. Now, therefore, I, Melanie Hepperly, Mayor of the City of Fairway, call upon all citizens of the City of Fairway, Kansas, and upon all civic and educational organizations to observe the week of May 14th through the 20th, 2023, as National Police Week in the City of Fairway. I further call upon citizens of the City of Fairway to observe May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes. Dated this 8th day of May, 2023. We also have a proclamation for Public Works Week. National Public Works Week, connecting the world through public works. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Fairway, Kansas. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the City of Fairway to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd Annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, be it now resolved, I, Melanie Hepperly, Mayor of the City of Fairway, Kansas, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through the 27th, 2023 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public work professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Dated this 8th day of May, 2023. I'd like to take this time to thank both the Chief and Bill as Public Works Director for your dedication to our city and to the wonderful staff that you have developed and provide to the city the services that we have come to expect, and really, really appreciate your loyalty and your understanding of the needs of our City of Fairway. So thank you both, and I hope you'll pass that along to your staffs, if you would. Okay, we'll move on to the monthly reports of standing committees. Consolidated Fire District Number 2. Chief Chick is not here this evening, so we will allow that report to stand as written. Administration and Finance, Nathan?
Okay, for the administration side of it, I do have an update. At the committee meeting on the 26th, I reported that CSO Baum had been through about a third of the city. She has completed the sweep of the entire city, looking for ordinance violations, specifically pertaining to the trash cans as well as to trailers and other outdoor storage regulations. And in doing so, she has sent about 337 letters to residents informing them of the potential violation of the new trash can ordinance. So I understand that not all of Jamie's interactions were pleasant, and I'm putting that nicely. So in the coming weeks, we will follow up on those letters to make sure that everyone is in compliance with the revision of the code. And just to be clear, the previous code required that trash cans be 100% screened, unviewable from any street. And we actually loosened the restrictions to make it so that they could not be viewable from the center point of someone's property from the street. So this was something that we were doing to allow for easier compliance for the residents of Fairway. So I just want to put that out there. And then we also discussed the upcoming capital projects workshop that'll take place in the multipurpose room here at City Hall on May 25th. So that is what I have for administration. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Nathan? Okay, thank you, Nathan. Police, Chief?
Thank you, and thank you for the proclamation from the men and women of our department. We are proud to serve. So I'll just start with a really quick overview of last month. Our numbers are up, nothing new there. Arrests and citations are up from last year, from the month of April. We had 228 additional activities compared to last year in April, for a total of 685 compared to last year's 457. Some of the events that we did or activities were we had some people run from us. One lady decided to give us her driver's license before she ran, which that was nice, helpful. We had some thefts. We had a catalytic converter theft from one of the businesses. This is extremely disappointing to me, and on Easter, there was a theft from probably one of the busiest places in Fairway on Easter, which is sad. Hopefully we're developing some suspects on that. We helped apprehend someone that was running from the Mission Police Department during a foot pursuit. Our officers chased them down and apprehended them for Mission. That's because we're in good shape. We recovered some stolen autos, and then again there were drugs involved last month that we made arrest off of: marijuana, fentanyl, and methamphetamine. And then I'd also like to thank Public Works. We'll mention it in next month's report, but today some of the Public Works guys discovered a couple people spray painting underneath a bridge, and those individuals were taken into custody. So thank you and your staff. I appreciate that. And right. Other than that, we have an upcoming meeting on May 17th at 6:30 for our police committee. And,
May 17th
yes.
at 6:30?
Uh-huh.
I forgot to write it down after you told me on the phone the
it's
other
May
night.
17th at
I just
6:30.
did. Got it.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for the chief?
Gee, where was what bridge was the spray paint? The tunnel or a bridge?
Mission.
The Mission Road Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Chief. Public Works Bill?
Mayor, thank you. And as to echo the chief's comments, I would like to say thank you for the proclamation. Public Works is always, there around the scene as much as we try to hide in the background. We're usually there whether you want us to be or not. But we appreciate the proclamation and the kind words. I will let my report stand as submitted, subject to any questions. I would like to point out that we achieved our Tree City USA designation again for the 38th year in a row, which I think there's only half a dozen cities in Kansas that have a longer tenure than us. It could be more. It's a very low number. There's not that many. But once again, our meeting is on May 16th at 10 a.m. for the Public Works Committee, where we'll be going over the operating budget. Most of April, my time was spent on budget activities, and most staff time was spent on mowing. And it looks like since I came back, I brought the heat with me, and we skipped straight from spring again to summer. So that's going to be an ongoing effort. We did start, however, again, sweeping the streets again to get all of the nasty oak dander that comes off the trees. And it looks like, as I was leaving the office to come down here, it looks like our 30-yard dumpster is filled with dirt, but it's just heaping piles of oak dander that we've swept off the streets. So, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I always wondered what you call that stuff. I like oak dander. My neighbor and I were calling it oak hair, but I like oak dander better.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Bill?
I have a quick question, Bill. The Tree City USA sounds awesome. Is it based on how many trees we have per size, or how do we get to that?
You have to spend $2 per resident to achieve Tree City USA designation.
So it's based on our funding?
Correct.
Expenses. Okay, thank you.
Any others? Okay, thanks, Bill.
And in perspective, Mayor, that would mean we would need to spend a minimum of about $8,000 a year on trees.
And we spend about $200,000.
And we spend about $200,000 on trees.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Significant. That's why the tree protection ordinance is so important. Approve claims and appropriation ordinance number 1782 for April 2023, and approve the annual tree plan. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment on the consent agenda items? Do we have anyone online, Nathan? Besides Rich? Nope, okay. And no one in the audience here at City Hall, so I will close public comment, and we'll proceed to council vote. These items are determined to be routine enough to be acted on in a single motion. However, this does not preclude discussion. If a council member requests, an item may be removed from the consent agenda for further consideration in separate motion. Does anyone on council wish to remove an item?
Mayor, I don't wish to remove it. I just had a question about
Okay.
the tree plan.
Part of that.
Yeah. If the tree board talked about new construction and trees and how we want to address that, given that we've had situations where there is new construction and we have to kind of make decisions about trees, I didn't know if it made sense.
There's an ordinance that covers that.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
It wasn't in the kind of priority list of things that we were doing, and so I was just curious if that came up at the tree board meeting.
No.
It did not, since it was an ordinance. We don't.
The tree board does not discuss that issue.
Okay.
That's a council issue.
Yeah, we did discuss the concept of right-of-way trees, and not just in the context
Right,
of
but
new home construction, but
not just new construction.
yeah, that was brought up in the context of some residents who had asked about what are we doing to replenish the right-of-way trees. But it wasn't limited just to construction.
Okay?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion concerning the consent agenda items.
Mayor?
Johnson. Joe is the Region 6 Director for National APWA. He's been our Region 6 Director for 2 terms, starting his 3rd now. He's in charge of 9 of the chapters like ours, KC Metro chapter, the Kansas chapter, Missouri chapter, et cetera. I've known Joe as long as I've been in Public Works on the Kansas side. He's been a mentor of mine. We served on the local APWA board together. He was the delegate at one time, and I was the alternate delegate. Now he's Region 6 director, and I'm the current delegate for the chapter. Joe's a former Public Works director in the city of Leawood, Kansas, if he may look familiar to some of you. And he was the one that Kate Gunja and I met with when we were discussing purchasing the streetlights, because they had just completed their sale or their purchase of streetlights. So he was integral in us providing that agreement with KCP&L on getting that done as well. So without further ado, Joe.
Joe, welcome. We're
Good
glad
evening.
you're here.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. It's a pleasure to be here. As Bill indicated, Joe Johnson, I'm on the National Board for APWA, and I've been doing that for 4 years and got 2 years left. And you know, one of the fun things I get to do is to travel to the chapters within the I think it's, well, 7 or 8 states, and then the Providence, Manitoba, Canada, when chapter or when cities go through accreditation or reaccreditation. So it's kind of one of the fun things I get to do to meet staff, meet mayors and council members, and to really promote public works and promote your city and your public works agencies for the hard work and being an accredited agency. So, you know, this kind of falls in line with the proclamation for National Public Works Week, which kind of recognizes public works as we work to enhance communities across our nation. And today here locally, I get to kind of toot your horn with you a little bit on Bill and Abby and the rest of their staff for what a wonderful public works agency you have here in the city. And with all these 110 different practices, they were they passed a bill with this reaccreditation plaque for being accredited agencies. It's also my pleasure and to thank both the mayor and council members for your dedication and support to allow your department the time and energy it takes to go through accreditation and reaccreditation. You don't see a lot of small agencies going through this, and so it's very nice to see that you understand the value of having an accredited agency, that it not only improves the performance of your public works department, but it's also a feather in the cap for not only yourselves, but for your citizens to have an accredited agency, that they're doing the best that they can to deliver services in a very professional and dedicated manner. So it's my pleasure here tonight with Bill and Abby to recognize them and to thank the City of Fairway and congratulations on your reaccreditation. So I'll give you a round of applause. No photo.
Bill and Abby, congratulations. That is fantastic and quite an accomplishment. I remember when you went through the original accreditation, spending some time with the individuals that were here and seeing the detail. My word, that is a lot of work, and congratulations is well deserved. We appreciate it, and you bring a lot of recognition and honor to our city by accomplishing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. I really do.
This is what happens when we have a public or a Parks and Rec meeting. Bryce, Nathan and I are all discombobulated. And Barb, don't put this in the minutes, what I just said. Okay, since we don't have anyone online, pardon? Well, yeah, it kind of was, wasn't it? We don't have anyone in the audience. Abby, do you have anything you want to say? No? Okay. We'll move on to item B.
Spoken like a true public works professional.
Consider the CARS 5-year plan. Bill, you're up again.
Thank you, Mayor. Before the governing body for consideration is our annual CARS 5-year plan. The new addition this year is some rehab work on the Mission Road Bridge. It's, time to scrape and paint the gutters and, repaint the front door like you do with any, asset that you have in your city. So we'll be, doing some stone work on it and replacing each of the 4 corners of the transition barrier where it's cracked up, if you can see whenever you go by. And then also painting the railing and then restaining it as well. But we can do that and have the county support it 50%. So that's what we added for the out year for us. Other than that, it remained the same.
All right, thanks, Bill. Any questions for Bill?
Bill, I'm sure I know the answer to this, but when you're redoing like the 2024 on Row, does that include the sidewalks, where that sidewalk kind of ends under the bridge?
Yes, it does continue it on past.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll get redone too. Cool.
Where there is no sidewalk?
Yeah.
Yes, we will be adding a sidewalk.
Fantastic.
At least that's in the plans, unless for some reason it costs 4 times the amount to do something, then we would have to make a decision at that point. But it is in the plans.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion from council? Okay. Any public comment concerning this item? Nathan, has anyone appeared on our screen tonight? Nope. Okay, we'll close public comment. And I will ask for a motion concerning the 5-year CARS plan for 2024 through 2028.
Mayor, I move that we approve the annual 5-year CARS plan.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded that we approve the 5-year CARS plan. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. All right, next on the agenda is the governing body comment section. During this time, members of the governing body will be given the opportunity to speak about matters related to the city. No formal action will be taken during this time. Anyone have anything? I think very, very well. And we have a plan and an invitation that we're waiting. Have we heard back from the call yet? Okay. We have an invitation to approximately 60 different tribes. We're waiting for that to be narrowed down. The caller is going to help us do that. And hopefully we will be meeting with as many of those tribes that are interested at the end of July. So the process is underway to begin the work on reinterpreting the exhibits at the mission. Okay, anyone else have anything? Okay. Is there any public comment for items not listed on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll close this section, and I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We are adjourned.